Welcome to 365 LOA. How to easily and effectively bring into alignment your thoughts, desires, beliefs, and actions, as well as create a positive parallel environment with those around you and the world as a whole. And now, broadcasting high atop the MacGuffin Towers in exciting Las Vegas, Dr. Richard Nongard and RJ Banks. How you doing? I'm Rob Banks. This is Dr. Richard Nongard, and today we are living as if.
Absolutely. Living as if is key to manifestation. If you want to attract a life filled with abundance and good things, and more importantly, if you want to overcome all the bad things in the world, well, as if living is absolutely essential.
You know, everything that we have in our physical world was started off in somebody's imagination somewhere. Things just don't appear. And that imagination is so key to that living as if.
You know, it's really true. The chair we're sitting on, the microphone we're speaking into, the device that you as a listener are listening in on, it had to be somebody's idea first. Somebody had to have the idea. Let me make a little plastic box that's 6.1 inches by 4 inches. Let it receive a Bluetooth signal and transfer an audio file from the cloud down to the device. This all had to be somebody's idea. Somebody had to think in order for reality to exist. Rob, I find that to be true in my own life as well.
Mm-hmm. It is so amazing. If you look back just in our current civilization or present civilization, within the last 100 years or so, look at how technology has grown just like exponentially. That and that, I think, comes from that living as if and using that imagination. It is such a key.
That's the heart of the law of attraction. You see, like attracts like.
Exactly.
And so imagination creates more imagination. That's why the last 100 years has produced so many wonderful results, because when somebody creates, somebody else creates a new vision, and that vision builds on the previous creativity. When we add our collective consciousness to it, and 7 billion people on the planet Earth, it does not amaze me that we have amazing stuff right now.
I'm just kind of in awe is all I have to say. I mean, look at where we are. Even when we were kids, now we're both basically the same age, just a few ages apart. I remember watching the Jetsons and those type of TV shows. Now, whoever created that TV show, they were living as if, and they were cashing in big time.
You know, I'm convinced that if it wasn't for the Jetsons, we wouldn't have Skype, we wouldn't have Zoom, we wouldn't have whatever Apple people call it when Apple people are FaceTiming each other.
Remember Dick Tracy and the little watch?
Dick Tracy and the little watch, and now we have the Samsung watch and the iWatch. People are probably actually listening to us on their watch right now. But let me share a quick story, Rob, about how I really stepped into as if living. I was working as a therapist. I was 29 years old. I was working for a private company, but they contracted with the State Department of Human Services, working with adolescents. It was a residential psychiatric treatment facility. And I had 2 small kids at the time. And, I wasn't making a ton of money as a low-level therapist at this residential.
You guys all started off as millionaires.
Yeah. So I wasn't making a lot of money, and I had a part-time job also. And so I went into my boss's office. She was the CEO. She was a medical doctor. And I said, Michelle, I would like to be the CEO. What do I need to do in order to become the CEO? And she said to me, oh, Richard, you're really a great guy. You're a great clinician. You seem to have some business acumen. She said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move you into a supervisory position. And she said, that'll be your entry-level management experience. She said, I'm going to encourage you to go back and get another master's degree. I already had my master's degree in counseling psychology at the time. She said, I'd like you to get a master's degree, an MBA in business administration. She said, that would really set you on the trajectory. And with my mentorship, she said, within the next 20 years, you will probably be the CEO of your very own hospital as well. And so I said, wow, yeah, thanks for telling me that. And I went home and I didn't sleep at all that night. I flipped and I flopped. And the pillow would never get comfortable and my mind was racing, and all I could think about was that when I was 49 years old, I would finally be in the position that I wanted to be in. So the next day, I after my sleepless night,
was that really how long it takes?
That's how long it takes to develop that career path to being the CEO of a hospital. And so I went into Michelle's office the next morning after not sleeping at all, and I said, Michelle, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me yesterday, and I really appreciate you offering me a supervisory position. I said, I've decided though I'm not going to do that, and so I'm going to give my 2 weeks notice, and I'm out of here. And Michelle said, are you crazy? Yesterday you wanted to be the CEO, today you want to quit. I said, I don't have 20 years to wait to be the CEO, so I'm starting my own business today, and I'm the CEO. And she said, of what company? And I said to her, I'm the CEO, this just came out of my mouth, of Bethany Educational and Guidance Services. She said, what the heck is that? I said, that's the training company I'm going to start. You said I was a good clinician. I'm going to train other chemical dependency counselors and marriage and family therapists in the skills of assessment and creating rapport and all of these sorts of things. And I think I'm going to be really good at it, so I'm the CEO of the company. And she thought I was crazy, but I left that day. I walked out to my car, and I had no job where I was getting a paycheck from somebody else, but I had an idea. And so I spent the next few weeks as if I were the CEO planning. I spent the next few weeks as if I was the CEO doing research into how to go about doing what I thought would be a pretty good idea. I met with people. That's what CEOs do. I shared with people my vision and my idea. That's what CEOs do. And I produced my first event. Now, here's the interesting thing. It was a training for chemical dependency counselors in Houston at a halfway house where I used to work. And I think I charged $49 for that training, and I had one person register. So I had two more people who were friends of mine who worked there, and I said, please come to my class because I can't only have one person. So they stacked the audience, and I walked out of there at the end of the day doing a whole day on substance abuse assessment training, and it was a success because I made $49. What I did then was what a good CEO does. I borrowed $1,500. I borrowed $1,500 and I used that to create mailers and brochures inspired by the one person who did pay me for my workshop. I then scheduled a workscheduled in Lampasas, and I scheduled one in Waco.
You became the CEO of marketing, CEO of advertising.
Marketing director. I scheduled one in Austin, and I spent all my money mailing out flyers and brochures, and I had about 7 to 10 people at each one, which was about $300 or $400 a day. What's fascinating is that one of those brochures made it to the office of the training coordinator at Dallas County Probation, and she said, "This looks like a really great topic, but but we can't send our people to Waco or Lampasas.
Right?
Do you have the ability to come up here and do training for us in house?" And I said, "I sure do. My schedule's wide open." And so I went and I did that training day, and they paid me, I think it was $1,000. I was back in the early 90s to do one full day of training. And they said, "Boy, your training was great, Richard. We'd like to have you come back every single month." And $1,000 a month guaranteed by them let me know that I could pay my car payment, that I could pay my rent, which I think at that time was about $650 a month. So I covered my monthly expenses, and I built the business. Now, I had a hard time early on in that I was only getting a handful of people at my classes, and that's when I realized that the liberal Episcopalians and the United Presbyterians, they wouldn't go to my classes because they thought with a name like Bethany Educational and Guidance Services, I was probably some conservative fundamentalist.
Oh, okay.
And of course, the conservative fundamentalists, they wouldn't go to my classes because they thought I might be some kind of, liberal, liberal Episcopalian or something like that. What nobody knew was that my dog was named Bethany. So like a good like a good CEO, what I did was I changed the name to meet the needs of my audience, and we became Peachtree Professional Education. That was in 1994, and that's still the company that I own today, providing continuing education to mental health professionals. But when we want something, what we need to do is to act as if and step into abundance, to simply let go of anything holding you back. I was literally faking it till I was making it as the CEO. And now, of course, my employees depend on me, and they have had stable jobs for, more than 10 years and or whatever their time period is. And it's been a great company, and it's been a great success because I learned that lesson that in order to attract abundance, we must act as if and see no opposition, recognizing that we are worthy and deserving of independence.
That is, and it seems like we always go back to almost every discussion we have when it comes to the law of attraction and how we can intensify, and it seems to always go back to worthiness. We have to be so worthy, and that because that is probably the biggest disconnect is the fact that we don't feel worthy, even though we say that we want this and we want that. If we don't feel subconsciously that we deserve it, it's never going to happen.
Well, and that's what imposter syndrome is. And there's a lot of people in their family, they believe they have imposter syndrome because they had a previous marriage and they're not worthy to have a good relationship this time, or they have imposter syndrome. I can't have this job because I don't have the experience, or I can't be a writer or teacher because I'm young. The reality is, the difference between those who are successful and those who are held back by their own limiting beliefs is often that lack of believing that we are deserving of good things. That's what keeps us from acting as if.
So what are some of the things that we can do to manifest and to bring these things and to really plug into that as if?
First of all, what's your true desire? My true desire was, yes, I wanted to prosper financially, but more importantly than that, I wanted to be there for my kids. My father died when I was young. I was a latchkey kid back in the in the 1970s. I wanted to be there for my kids. I wanted a job that gave me freedom and autonomy. I perceived the CEO because I would see Michelle come and go in the middle of the day. She had horses, she had kids. She'd go home to take care of her horses, go home to take care of her kids. She'd come in late, she'd leave early. She got a big fat paycheck. Now she was a hard worker, and she was actually a great CEO who I actually learned a lot from in the time that I was with her. But my true desire was for autonomy and freedom. And so I acted as if I had it. And guess what I got, Rob?
Autonomy and freedom.
I've had 1994, 2004, 2014, 25 plus years of autonomy and freedom because of that.
One thing that I want to touch on real quick that is when people look at this living as if and stuff and say, well, we'll just live as if. And then the first thing that people do is they feel, of course we have the worthiness thing, but then they get stuck on the how. Well, I don't know. How could I ever do this? And how could I ever do that? So if you want to touch
the details hold people back. People say, well, I can't build a business, whatever it is, till I build a website. I have to learn how to build a website first. I have to learn what fonts are going to sell. Look, fonts don't sell services. People sell services. What you need to do is get out there and tell people. Starting a simple blog is free. And it doesn't have to be the most beautiful website. It has to be the most functional website. And in this day and age, we can hire somebody off of Upwork or Fiverr and actually get beautiful designs done, relatively inexpensive. But so many people get stuck in the how. I have people who want to start a hypnotherapy practice, and they come to me and say, I really want to be an excellent hypnotist. I want to take your training. But then they ask me all kinds of questions about what about this business license and liability insurance and all of these sorts of things. And should I be an LLC, or should I be a subchapter S, or should I be a C Corp? Look, one, those are questions for an accountant, but more importantly than that, those aren't your concerns right now. What your concern is right now is, one, developing the skills and attracting the clients.
There you go.
When we do that first, then we don't get mired down by all the details. I think you've probably seen in a lot of the businesses that you've run and managed, people who get mired down with the details, and the result is nothing get accomplished because they're not acting as if, they're acting as if something is in their way.
They're acting as what if.
Right, exactly.
So there's several ways. Now, visualization, of course, is our big thing, to use your imagination, visualize. Now, you being a super hypnotherapist, now, using self-hypnosis, what's your thoughts on that to how does one use that self-hypnosis to bring in as if into that?
Well, see yourself as you are. See yourself as you are right now. First of all, worthy. Second of all, able. Worthy and able. I am worthy. You're the expert at affirmations, Rob. If self-worth and ability are essential for visualization, how might I start my morning?
Well, yeah, affirmations are, in my opinion, those are the key. I always start my morning every morning with a good affirmation list. And, doing I am affirmations are key. So starting off with, I am worthy. I am
able.
I am forgiven. I am forgiving. Those are all the things that we get held up on.
I am gracious.
I am gracious. But though, it's like those are the affirmations that you can focus on, and that kind of points you in the right direction to take that first step forward for the day.
And after I look at myself in the mirror and I love looking at myself in the mirror when I repeat my affirmations, because in a way, Rob, it kind of becomes a self-confrontation. I have to look myself in the eye and say it. And I think that helps us to believe it. And when we believe something, that lets us be open to receiving it. So the affirmations then give way to a visualization. I can simply close my eyes. Well, in fact, the shampoo bottle tells you, close your eyes, lather it up on your head. So when I step in the shower and wash my hair, in those 2 minutes where my eyes are closed and the soap is on my head, I can actually visualize myself, not as I wish that I was, but as I am in this moment, setting the intention each and every day in each and every way to get better and better. And I can, with the shampoo on my hair and my eyes closed so I don't get soap on my eyes, I can see myself as I am right now and as I know I will be in the future, behind that CEO desk.
Perfect.
Or in that loving relationship.
It doesn't matter what it is that you desire. Once you know what it is that you truly desire and you go towards on that is, focus equals fuel. There's a couple of things I just want to go, because we're almost out of time here, because we really get deep into this. But, things that you need to watch out for is negativity can really sneak in there the way that we live every day. It's like... It's, you see a really nice car, you see something fancy what's a lot of times the first thing that we say is like, well, I could never afford that. What do you affirm?
We need to do a whole episode on scarcity thinking.
Yeah.
That mindset that, again, if you believe you can't afford it, you won't be able to afford it.
So that's why you need to change it. And I always do this thing where it's like, just play a game with yourself. When you see that watch or you see that car, or to me, I love guitars or whatever it is that you say, instead of saying, wow, I can't afford that, or that's way too expensive, turn around and say, I can totally afford that. I just choose not to right now. I got other things going on in my life, and it's kind of a game that you play, and you can make it a game and just say, yeah, I totally afford that. I could if I wanted to, and I'm going to get though. But you have to take a really good affirmation for your money. I am always blessed with more than enough money for everything that I desire. Again, I'll say it one more time. I am always blessed with more than enough money for everything I desire. Now, the key there is the word desire. And to finish it off, you say, and I am grateful that all of my needs are divinely cared for. Now, the reason why I split that up is because if you are saying that you need something, that's negativity. That means that you're lacking something, and that's low vibrational energy. So now, even in the Bible, it says that God provides everything. So whether you're religious or not, but all of my needs are always divinely cared for. That's what my belief system is, and no matter what, it seems like it always comes through one way or another. So I don't focus on that. I focus on my desires. So to put the whole thing together, you say, I am always blessed with more than enough money for everything I desire, and so grateful that all of my needs are divinely cared for.
And the sense of gratitude, being grateful that all of our needs are divinely cared for. One of the things I've discovered is that when I act as if, and when I recognize that I have everything that I need, and then I'm grateful for what I have, and when I share with others the blessings that I've received, I step into even more abundance in every area of life, whether that's financially, which is often how we measure it, or simply with wonderful relationships and friendships and family and opportunities.
I want to share one more story before we get out of here, an as-if story about this lady. Now, this is the top, the cream of the crop of the living as if. She was desiring to find the love of her life and all that kind of stuff. And so she decided to live as if. So she took her house, she divided it all up and set it up for two. So she divided half the closet for his space, half for hers, the same with the drawers, the same in the kitchen. Even in the garage, she moved her stuff over to one side. Every night she would put 2 plates at the dinner table, and knowing that one of these, remember that song Delta Dawn? Or Helen Reddy, it's what it reminds me of. But sooner or later, she found her true love. They've been married for going on 40 years now, and she attributes it all to living as if, and she found the right partner, and it worked perfectly.
Incredible story, Rob. I want to encourage everybody to join us for our next broadcast from high atop the MacGuffin Tower here in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Ta-da!
Same time, same channel next week, and check out our website at 365LOA.com. You can find all kinds of great resources to help you live as if at every level.
Bye-bye now.
You've been listening to 365 LOA with Dr. Richard Nongard and RJ Banks. For additional information, including free downloads, or to send them an email, visit 365LOA.com. That's 365LOA.com.